It wouldn't be another Sunday without some more tariff nonsense. Meanwhile, a massive Bitcoin whale just closed his long position to now short Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. In today's video, we'll be discussing exactly that, what's been going on with these new tariff discussions, and what this whale is currently doing. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So near the end of last week, Bitcoin did see a pretty solid pump, and we wicked all the way as high as $86,000. But you can see now that starting from Sunday, we saw some downside price action, Bitcoin dropping all the way as low as $83,400. Now, why did this happen? Again, some more tariff talk on this lovely Sunday, and there's always some kinds of shenanigans before the weekly close. But currently, if we are to close the week like this for Bitcoin, it's still looking like a very positive weekly close. Pretty big green candle over here. Let's hope that the weekly close in a few hours from now closes similar to this and we don't just resort lower, because the tariff talk is still very much ongoing. As we can see, China came out and said that the exemption that we covered in the last video, which was one to include computers, smartphones, and chip making equipment, was a small step in the right direction. But some more news came out by Howard Lutnick. He essentially said that semiconductor and electronic tariffs will come in a month or so. Also, they're talking about pharmaceutical tariffs, and we know that that is a massive industry for the US, racking in billions of dollars. And to give you a quick summary of what's going on in terms of how the exemptions actually unfolded, first of all, we went from no exemptions on tariffs, and Trump put his foot down, acted very strict. Then he came out to say that the US would issue refunds on tariffs going back to April 5th, back to the exemptions not being permanent. The result? Markets are incredibly confused ahead of the futures open, which only makes sense. So after this came out, yes, Bitcoin did see a dump. Let me zoom into the hourly time frame, and it's not that severe, nothing to be super concerned about quite yet, but we can't help but notice that on this more detailed chart over here that I've been talking about, we are approaching a crucial level for Bitcoin. The level that coincides with the bull market support band, the 200-day moving average, and the 86.5 to 87.5K zone. Now, we didn't even touch it, and we already got that initial rejection. We'll have to see how things unfold, but until we can break above there, I will be cautiously optimistic on the market. And despite all of the recent market uncertainty, Trump is very confident as ever, coming out and saying that they are doing really well on their tariff policy. Very exciting for America and the world. It is moving quickly. This is what was said on his platform, Truth Social, and I don't even know what to believe anymore. Looking at ETH, Bitcoin, again, same story. We are going towards those range lows that were established back in 2019. We're approaching a very, very good risk to reward setup on ETH Bitcoin. And so if you have not already started to stack Ethereum at these lower levels, this could potentially be a good trade to make. And that reminds me, if you want to trade the crypto market, with the first link in my description down below, you'll get a great bonus on weeks. You get a 20% deposit bonus reward, which means, for example, that if you were to deposit $5,000 into your week's account, you get $1,000 back for free for your trading. And depending on how much you trade, you can also earn up to $28,000. Yes, 28K for trading the crypto markets. Super easy to sign up. All you need is an email and a password. And again, it's the first link in my description down below if you like trading these markets. And before we discuss the whale that I talked about at the beginning of the video, I just wanted to show you this interesting perspective. Bitcoin on the monthly chart by Donald. Monthly is starting to round out a few more canceled tariffs and up only. Now, I'm not sure if you actually believe this, but if we take a look at the Bitcoin chart, and this is why I always tell you guys to zoom out, because when we zoom out, it does paint a pretty nice picture. We have seen this consolidation happen before. And yes, this red candle was a little bit more drastic, but there is potential here that we consolidate around this range before we go ahead and round ourselves back up and make a new all-time high. Now, me personally, I do think that Bitcoin will be making an all-time high so long as we don't lose the 70K level, and that all-time high would likely come near the latter end of this year. That is just my own prediction, not financial advice, but we'll have to see how things develop. Now, let's look at that whale that we were talking about. A 40x hyperliquid whale increased his Bitcoin long position to just under $200 million, and he was currently sitting on $6.28 million in unrealized profit. Whenever we see these whales move this kind of money, we can't help but ask ourselves, is it just a random whale, or does he have insider information? He was in significant profit. His entry was right around $82,000, and the price was $84,700 at the time of this tweet. But you can see his address is up here. And when I searched up his address on the Hyperliquid scanner, what we can see here is that he is now in shorts. So he must have closed his positions in profit, and now he is betting big that the market will be going down. As we can see here, he has a $76 million Ethereum position, 25x, shorting ETH, and he entered right around 1570, and now the price is currently above that entry point. He's sitting in $1 million in unrealized losses at the time of recording this video. His Bitcoin position, much smaller, right around $2.5 million, also sitting in an unrealized loss of $10,000. And he's also shorting Solana with a value of just under $2 million, sitting at just under $22,000 in unrealized loss. The question is, why did he change his stance? Because we can clearly see that this same address was $6 million in profit in a massive Bitcoin long of $200 million. So what made him change his mind? He obviously cashed out some of this profit, and now since he's shorting, I am a little bit concerned. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. We'll have to see how this plays out. And the last thing that I want to show you before we wrap up this video is hinting towards quantitative easing. The more messages like these, the more supportive it will be for Bitcoin's momentum. As we can see on the chart here, whenever these tweets went out, Bitcoin went ahead and continued its pump and got an even more aggressive move to the upside. We are hinting towards quantitative easing. It will likely be a matter of months, but I do agree with this analysis that Bitcoin dominance will likely top when we have fully transitioned from quantitative tightening into quantitative easing. Until then, Bitcoin dominance will likely keep on going higher. And you don't need me to remind you, but I will anyways. This wick that we drew up here will get filled, and it's highly likely that we reach at the bare minimum 66% before we see that change in monetary policy. And that sums up today's quick video. Of course, some more tariff talk on this lovely Sunday. And then we have that Bitcoin whale that changed his stance massively, backing himself with hundreds of millions of dollars. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.